All right, folks, here we are going live. Last week, we stirred it up a little. I had a good friend tell me one time, if you don't stir the pot, things get sticky at the bottom, and we definitely stirred the pot a little when it comes to participation trophies and things like that. So, listen, today just want to do a follow up from that. I know that there were a lot of people that sent in questions, had concerns, or maybe even wondered why I'm really a fan of participation trophies. Let's be honest. Like, I'm not a fan of participation trophies. I'm not a fan of trophies in general. I probably don't think you should get your first trophy till you're about 14 years old, because it's only at that time when you realize you've worked for it, you've made sacrifices, and things like that. I think the danger lies in when we do that too early, we create the wrong thing. And we're going to kind of address that a little bit in a minute. But listen, the reminder is this: it's not the placement of the trophy that's the danger. It's the pedestal we put it on. So again, as we go on this sports journey, let's just make sure we're careful not to place too much emphasis on what that trophy means. Again, I believe every kid that plays a sport should get a trophy. It's an intrinsic trophy, things like resiliency, character, empathy, integrity, honesty, work ethic, all those things that we hope sport creates. But what we're seeing in our culture today, that sport may not be, it's not that it's not creating those things, it may be actually hindering those things, because we've kind of placed the priority on the wrong thing. So again, it's not I'm anti this or I'm for this. It's just that we got to have some balance here, and we got to make sure that we're kind of doing the right thing. So the other thing, I was looking at Facebook this last week, and I see this picture of this 8-year-old kid. No joke. This 8-year-old boy walking to a baseball game. It was a picture from behind of this kid walking into a baseball game, and my mind immediately went. I'm like ADD in high definition, so my mind immediately went to this idea of, last week we talked about the gold trophy, the thing you get for winning, or the diamond ring that we're giving out to 8-year-old girls for winning a softball tournament, or little kids for winning a wrestling match. But this bat bag, no joke, this backpack was bigger than this child. On each side, it had 2 bats that probably were worth 100. I don't even know how much a bat costs. I've never bought one. I got some at the Goodwill and told my kids to figure out how to hit. But so it had 2 bat bags in it. This kid has a flat bill hat on. He's got a uniform nicer than probably any uniform I've ever worn in a sporting event. Okay, and I got to participate in Division I athletics. Unfortunately, it was wrestling. We didn't get that nice of stuff. We just kind of made do. But this kid is decked out in this uniform, and I began to think, it's not just the trophy we get for winning or the trophy we get for participating that poses these problems. It's the fact that in the sports world today, we're buying our kids Ferraris at 7 years old. Listen, when I was 16, I got a 1986 K5 Blazer. Truth, it was a hunk of junk. It was not very nice. All right. My dad allowed me to purchase this with my money. He knew I was an idiot, and he let me struggle on that journey for the next year or two. But I got this 1986 K5 Blazer. It wasn't that nice. Every vehicle I've ever owned in my life, 20 years, 25 years later, has been an upgrade for me. So every time I get a new vehicle, man, it's super, super nice. I'm excited because I started so low. Here's what we're doing in the sports world today. We're giving them so much nice stuff, we can't keep up. Again, a few weeks ago, we looked at primary purpose of sport, joy and wonder, capture a kid's imagination in both process and pursuit. And then here's what we're doing. We're giving them so much stuff that we're losing their imagination. They're not willing to go through the process, and they stop pursuing because you can't keep that up. I mean, they get to high school and they're disappointed because their 8-year-old travel team had better uniforms than their high school team. Newsflash, that's not reality. That's not reality. You know what our uniforms used to be? Shirts and skins. Hey, you guys keep your shirts on, we'll take our shirts off. You know what I mean? Ladies, don't do that. But that's what it was. It was so simple. It was so cheap. It was so organic. And then when you got your first uniform, I can remember being a sophomore at Bradley Central High School, and here's what we got. We got a sweatshirt, sweatpants, and maybe a T-shirt. And guess what? We were all super proud and pleased that that's what we got. Nowadays, if you gave that out to a high school team, those kids would flip out because they've gotten so much stuff. So when we talk about trophies and rewards, most of these kids are getting a reward. They're getting a uniform that's nicer than anything, that anyone wore 20 years ago. And again, the danger is this, and we're seeing this in the sports world today, and if you deny it, you're lying to yourself. We're seeing an increase in arrogance and entitlement, and we're seeing a rapid decrease in confidence. Here's the difference. So increase in arrogance and entitlement. Arrogance and entitlement says this: I deserve it. You owe it to me. I'm going to figure out a way to make it easy for me. It's all about, at the end of the day, it's all about me. It's these three pronouns: me, myself, and mine. And then we wonder why they're not team players when they get older, because all we've done is pour into them individually. So the goal of sport is not to create arrogance and entitlement. It's to create confidence. Here's how you create confidence. It's through struggle. It's absolutely the key ingredient to creating confidence is we allow struggle to take place. And as we overcome struggle, here's what happens. Our resiliency tank grows, our confidence grows, and then we believe we can accomplish something. And what we're doing today in the sports world is we're just kind of giving them everything from the get-go. They don't deserve, earn anything. And they begin to think, hey, I've arrived. If you think you've arrived because you won an 8-year-old baseball tournament, listen, you need to thank your parents, because they're the one that created the team. They're the one that put it together. They're the one that probably paid for some really good athletes to actually be on your team. So I think the danger there with this whole trophy reward mentality is that it creates arrogance and entitlement. It doesn't necessarily create confidence. And at the end of the day, we want to create confidence in these young men and these young women, so that whatever they face in life, they feel like they have the ability to get through, to struggle through that, to overcome, and do big things. So again, last week was so fun because it created so much discussion, and I think it got our minds going. I promise you this, I don't have it figured out. I don't know the answer. I do know this: the way we're doing it, to me, doesn't seem right. It's not producing the type of young people that we want out in the real world surviving on their own. So I think we've got to, we got to recalibrate. We got to think through this, and we got to figure out a way to do it a little bit better. So, man, thank you guys so much for tuning in this week. Again, as you go on this journey, don't make it about the reward. Make it about the journey. Don't think you got to give them the best stuff right at the get-go. Again, one of the things we say each and every week is our role as parents is not to provide our kid with all the best opportunities. Our role as parents is to discern what are the right opportunities that will move my child in the right direction and get them ready for this thing we call the real world. So that's our challenge for you today. I know a lot of you out there, you're going, well, dang, he's already got 2 bats and things like that. True story. We let our daughter play softball one year. I wasn't a huge fan, way too slow for me. But she came home and she was like, Dad, everybody's got their own bat. And I said, well, honey, your dad is so smart. So smart. Here's what I want you to do. The next day, I want you to walk into the dugout. There's going to be like 12 bats. It's like Academy Sports. You pick one of those bats, try it. If it doesn't work, pick the next one. Here's the deal. We tried all 12 bats. None of them worked. So a lot of times it doesn't matter how expensive your bat is. You just got to learn how to hit the ball. So we went with the Goodwill bats from here on out. So again, don't get caught up in that stuff. Make sure as you look through this sport lens, make sure that you're asking, what do I want this to accomplish in the long run? And are these things needed, or possibly are they even a hindrance for what we're wanting to accomplish in the long run? So, hey, for all you coaches out there, just a reminder, we say this: coach them hard, but love them harder. For all you parents out there, reminder, you're not their sport agent. You are their parent. Train them up in the way they should go. And every time they get in the car, make sure you tell them how much you love to watch them play. Coming up Monday, November 5th, parent seminar at Silverdale Creekside. That's coming up less than a month away. We only have 300 spots available for that event. We're going to provide you dinner that night. It's going to last about 2 hours. We have a financial guy coming in to talk about some financial boundaries that we can put in place. But we're super excited about this event because I believe there's a movement now. We want to educate parents. We want to help them see sport through the right lens, and we would love for you to be there to be a part of that event. So again, that's Monday, November 5th, Silverdale Creekside. You can go to ChattanoogaFCA.org and find that link to register for the event, or you can DM me or Chad Pike or ask on the comments below, and we'll get you the link to sign up for that. So thanks for tuning in this week. We'll hit another topic next week, but thanks for all your involvement, all your questions, and for listening up as we try to change the sports world for good.